Hello, and welcome back to the Rare Wellness Podcast, the podcast designed to help you heal holistically and give you the tools that you need to thrive. We're making it easy to understand medicine and wellness with practical steps from the experts, one podcast at a time. The only thing that we ask is that if this episode helps you live just a little bit better and more aligned, that you'll leave us a review and share it with a friend. That's all that we ask so that we can continue to provide you with free, valuable knowledge from the experts of well-being. If you guys are listening to this podcast on audio, I would highly recommend going out to our YouTube channel. We have a fun little surprise in this video, so definitely go check us out. I can't take myself seriously like this. Okay.
I have not look at myself. I have to I'm focusing on you.
I know, but then if I look at either one of us, I feel like I want to laugh. Looking at myself is horrible, and then looking at you, I'm like, wow, who is this snow queen? Anyway, in today's episode, we have our nurse esthetician, Jeralee Davis. Welcome on the podcast.
Hello. Thanks, Nat.
I am so excited to be having this conversation today. This has been a highly requested episode, answering everyone's questions on skincare. Jeralee is the head nurse at Rare Wellness, and she has really helped me fix my skin. We've done quite a few episodes up until this point, going over different injectables, a guide to taking care of your skin. And today we're really going to be answering all of those questions that we haven't been able to up until this point. We asked, you guys sent them in. So let's go ahead and get started. Jeralee, we're just going to jump right into this. So people want to know, what skincare products should they be using?
Everyone should be doing like the basic steps that I probably always talk about. Everyone's probably like, oh my gosh, Jeralee, you say the same thing over and over again. But cleansing, treating the skin, moisturizing, and protect. So find a cleanser that works for you. It's very, things can be very specific for whatever your concerns are, what your skin can tolerate. Treatment products include serums. That's where all your vitamins, your antioxidants are. And then a moisturizer, whether it be something that's really lightweight or something that's heavy, maybe depending on the time of year or your skin type, right? And then protection, SPF, 365 days a year.
So does drugstore work for my skincare, or should I be going and getting medical grade?
I mean, I think it's worth it to invest in medical grade skincare. There's definitely a difference in the ingredients and the technology that they use. So you're really getting, what you pay for. There's absolutely nothing. I mean, if somebody had the choice between not cleansing their skin or finding, something at, Target or Walgreens or whatever, I would say absolutely just get something that works for you. Just read the ingredients, because there's certain things that, if you can't pronounce 90% of the things on the label, pass. Get something else.
So guys, keep your skincare as simple as possible if you're going from drugstore, and if not, go see a registered nurse or esthetician and get help with your skincare there. But I think that that's just super helpful advice, because sometimes it can feel so overwhelming when you're going and looking at all the different ingredients, there's so much. Half of the time when I was younger, I would just pick my skincare based off the branding. And so being able to just get advice of as simple of an ingredient list as possible for your skincare products. And I know you've mentioned to me, like, it can be simple. Like, you can get one of, what is it, Cetaphil, like CeraVe or Cetaphil, like those moisturizer tubs. And they did me great before I was able to start using medical grade. So
yeah, and a lot of dermatology offices and dermatologists recommend, CeraVe and Cetaphil, because they're very great for what they do, but they're very, easy on the skin. So
yeah. What is the most underused or underestimated part of a great skincare routine?
Girl, you already know what I'm gonna say. Exfoliate. That is, truthfully, still, as much as I talk about it and feel like I say this all the time, but so many of my patients come in and 90% of them probably don't exfoliate, or they say, well, I use, a washcloth or something. It's kind of not the same thing. So find a scrub. There's lots of great ones out there, but exfoliation is really key to letting all those products absorb and work the way that they're meant to in the
Because
skin.
otherwise your clogs stay poured up and it's hard for them to.
You, did you hear what you just said? You said you.
No way I said that. Your clogs stay poured up.
That's the best thing.
It's the outfit. I said it so seriously too.
I have tears coming down.
Okay, retake.
Okay.
Otherwise, your pores stay clogged up.
Right. And we
Right.
don't want that.
Mm-mm.
Think of your skin. That top layer, your stratum corneum, is that outermost layer of your skin, and that's the skin that sheds and sloughs. And if you think of it like shingles on a roof, right? They keep stacking, stacking, stacking. And if you don't slough them away, then they're just sitting there and everything's just sitting on top of it, and it's not getting into the skin where it's meant to be.
So otherwise you're paying all this money for great serums, great serums, but your skin's not able to absorb them because of that layer on the stratum corneum.
Right.
Amazing. Okay. Why should I use sunscreen in the winter?
Oh my goodness. This question I do get asked a lot. So sunscreen not only protects you from the sun rays, but environmental damage that we get in the wintertime, also the free radicals, just from being out and about. You need to find a sunscreen that protects you from UVA and UVB rays. So there's the UVA rays are the ones that cause like premature aging, right? So those are the ones that you want to protect against in the winter and summer. And then the UVB rays are the burning rays or tanning rays, whichever way you want to look at it. So there's, I think, a lot of confusion around that. And some people see, an SPF 99 and they're like, oh, this is going to be great. But really look for something that says broad spectrum or a mineral SPF, because it naturally is a broad spectrum that protects you from the UVA and the UVB. Hats can also be worn in the winter to protect you from environmental damage, or like this one. But hats in the summertime are imperative. When I take my kids to the beach, I have like a shield, a force field, if you will, on my face because I use a really strong SPF, and then I always wear a sun hat and sunny shades.
And that's why your skin looks amazing.
Thanks. Thanks.
Okay, so getting down to the nitty gritty, we had some good questions come in here from our listeners. So let's see. Let's start with, okay. What is the least intrusive way to get rid of large pores?
The least intrusive way. So think of our pores. I mean, our pores can appear larger or appear, stretched out. Texture changes as we age, but kind of going back to just a good skincare routine and again, exfoliating, because that's going to help with the appearance, with texture, allowing your treatment products to work better. So nothing really shrinks the pores necessarily. We have lasers and, good treatments that we can use to help with texture, which in turn makes the pores appear smaller. So have a good skincare routine and exfoliate. And that's probably the easiest way to make your pores appear smaller.
Yeah. Well, and if you want to learn more about this topic, definitely go back and listen to our Basics of Skincare episode because we spent a lot of time talking about exfoliation, how you can pick the right one. But really, from everything I've learned from Jeralee, it seems like just like anything else, just like anything else, it's compounding. The habits that we have on a regular basis compound. And so if you're taking great care of your skin on a regular basis, you're exfoliating regularly, which is the missing piece for me that I've realized I have not included in my routines in the past. Being able to incorporate that on a regular basis will have those dramatic results in the long term rather than just one singular treatment one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Today's podcast is brought to you by the Premium Center for Regenerative Medicine and Stem Cell Therapy in the Northwest Center for Regenerative Medicine. Get back to the activities that you love without needing surgery. You can book your appointment at nwc4rm.com. Again, that's nwc4rm.com. This podcast is also brought to you by Rare Wellness Supplements. you can head over to rareplanethealth.com to get your supplements. My personal favorite is the premium fish oil filled with omega 3s. Again, you can go to rareplanethealth.com and get the supplements that you most need to support your health and wellness today. Lastly, this podcast is also brought to you by Rare Wellness. Rare Wellness is located on the South Hill in Spokane and is one center that provides all the wellness tools that you could need. Whether you're looking for a hands-on premium intimate yoga studio with a therapeutic emphasis, bar classes, Tai Chi classes, if you're looking for skincare treatments, injectable, hydrofacial, microneedling, organic spa treatments, if you're wanting to get therapeutic massage or book functional medicine appointments to get down to the root cause of your inflammation, Rare Wellness is the place for you. Whatever your wellness needs are, they have it covered. So to book your appointment today, go to rarewellness.com. Again, go to rarewellness.com and mention this podcast for 10% off when you're booking. Okay, time to get back to the episode. How can you have a less oily skin? Okay, how to have less oily skin in the T-zone that won't break the bank. This is for the people who are looking for habits that they can incorporate in their skincare routine. I'm assuming it's going to be similar to the last one, but yeah.
When you have oily areas of your skin, such as the T-zone, that's commonly just an oil-prone area. You can get certain products that don't cost a lot of money that kind of help mattify your skin throughout the day. They have oil blotting sheets. I mean, they have a lot of different things just from working in cosmetics that we use to kind of just help, with that on top of makeup and everything. But again, going back to a good skincare routine is going to be key just for overall skin health, just to balance everything, because it's all about finding balance for healthy skin. So good skincare, exfoliation, a good moisturizer too. A lot of people that have oily prone skin, they don't want to use a moisturizer that is too heavy, or they're like, oh, I'm oily, I don't need to use a moisturizer. It's kind of the opposite. So you want to find a healthy pH balance in your skin. So use a good moisturizer, because if you don't, your skin's going to overproduce oil, right? And then you're going to be even oilier. So you got to find that like happy medium.
Can your skin type change over time?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. I think our skin changes about every 4 years. Maybe not drastically, but your skin kind of goes through a process. So oily skins, be happy. Maybe your skin, you're not happy with the oil now, but be thankful, because when you're in your 40s or 50s or 60s, you may have less fine lines than people that have dry skin their whole life.
That's good news. I've never heard about that. That's amazing. Yeah. So going off of that dry skin, we had a listener send in their question, which one is the best oil for my dry skin? Castor, almond, argan, etc. Should I alternate oils or no? Or is there maybe a different oil that would be best for dry skin?
I love oils. Like I use a lot of oil on my skin. I think there's a different oil for different concerns. The best ones for your face would probably be argan oil is really great because it has anti-aging properties in it.
Okay.
Avocado oil is amazing. There's avocado oil in a lot of skincare products, or just avocado in general, because it's really hydrating and it has the fatty acids and everything. Castor oil is great. It is hydrating and it has a lot of healing properties to it. I mean, we've been using castor oil forever for a lot of reasons, and not only putting it topically, but ingesting it, right? So I think just finding, what is the concern that we're treating? If it's just hydration, something as simple, like I said, as avocado oil. Jojoba oil is really nice too for anti-aging and for hydration. So there's a lot of good ones.
Okay, guys. So we had someone type in retinol versus retinol. I'm pretty sure they're pronounced the same. So let me do this again. Retinol versus retinol. And one of them is OL and the other one is AL. Jeralee, explain to us this confusing question that occupies our minds regularly.
So retinol is really just various forms of vitamin A, right? Tretinoin, we've heard probably most often, or just vitamin A. Tretinoin is kind of like your prescription strength vitamin A that you have to get a script for. So the main difference, I believe, between retinol, OL, and AL is just the way that it's formulated.
Okay.
Retinol, I believe, is just a little bit stronger than retinol, OL. So if you find these in products, either way, you're going to get a good dosage of vitamin A, which is great for fine lines, cell turnover. But again, just read the ingredients and make sure that there's nothing else in there that's going to kind of counteract with it. And just make sure
What
you're
would some
using
of those things be for those of us who don't know? What would counteract with it?
probably mostly, I guess, just don't use too many forms of
Okay.
retinol. You can always get carried away, and that can just lead to, irritation, sensitivity, inflammation, even. So just use some, but use it cautiously and don't overdo it.
Yeah, I remember when I first started getting really bad acne when I was in middle school. I would buy all the drugstore products and I would oversaturate my skin with them. Like it
Yeah.
was retinols after like acne freezing gel creams and then putting on all of these chemicals. And you want to know what happened, Jeralee? My skin got worse.
Yeah. I believe it.
So
It's the same thing.
I I love what you said about not overdoing it and just making sure that you're not using too many forms of, keep it simple. You've said this so many times, but keep it simple.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Does getting Botox young damage you in the long run?
No, absolutely not.
Debunk this
Any,
myth. Tell us about it.
anything that can be anti-aging, if you
Mm,
will, that's kind of how I like to think about Botox because yes, I think I've also said this before. There's been, maybe a handful of my early 20 somethings that have been in, and it's maybe not necessary. Again, going back to just a good skincare routine would maybe be best. But starting Botox would be great, would be a great step in your anti aging regimen,
yeah.
maybe, because it's going to keep any of those lines from setting in,
Mm.
right?
So it doesn't damage you in the long run.
No, it's not going to damage anything.
Yes.
Uh, I also have had a lot of my patients say or ask, oh, if I stop using Botox, my muscles are going to, contract and they're going to come back worse. And it's like, how does that make sense? That doesn't make any sense. Think about what happens like when you break your leg or you break your arm. Like
Mhm.
your arm is in a cast, your leg is in a cast. What happens to your muscle? It atrophies a
Atrophies.
bit, right?
Yeah.
So, in my mind, and again, this isn't like scientifically proven, but let's just talk about it for a second.
Right.
So, your muscles are put in a temporary timeout when you use Botox,
They're
right?
atrophying.
Exactly, in a way.
Yeah.
So, I think when people wait longer in between their treatments, or maybe they just stop using it for a while, it's like that feeling of, oh my gosh, it's coming back worse. Or,
Mhm.
oh, I really notice it. But that's just it. You're just noticing the muscle movement. Whereas when you have your Botox treatment, everything's softened, everything's
Mm.
relaxed. So no, your muscles aren't coming back stronger. If anything, it can lessen over time.
Okay, I am quoting this exactly. Is there a freaking way that I can eat some sugar and not get acne?
That's
What
a,
do you have to
that's
say
a,
about this?
that's the best question.
I know.
There, when it comes to sugar, I mean, it's just kind of like one of those things that, you know, everything is everything is connected, right?
Yeah.
Eat clean, you drink a lot of water, you do all these things, your skin is just going to look better and be
Better.
healthier. Sugar is one of those delicious things that just it causes inflammation, it can cause, different
Yeah.
things in our bodies and that our bodies react to it. So, yeah, I would say no.
And
But everything in moderation,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, and the reality is that everyone's body and skin reacts differently to different things. So like my skin is extremely sensitive to stress,
Mm,
extremely. And so um I used to think that I was extremely I would say that okay, hold on. Let me repause for a second. So I think skin and health in general is so nuanced and individualized and
mm,
it's complex as well, right? Because I used to genuinely believe that if I had a drop of sugar, my face would explode in acne because I felt like every time I ate sugar, my skin was erupting. But the reality was that for me, my biggest problem was my cortisol levels. And of course, eating more sugar did lead to more inflammation. But
Right.
when I actually went to therapy and took care of my mental health and also reduced just the level of stress in my life and lowered my cortisol levels, I was then able to start incorporating like my favorite desserts and eating some sugary foods without sometimes the very stress around food can actually cause as much cortisol and inflammation as just eating the food and relaxing.
Yeah.
So I think that there's definitely a balance because obviously, if you're eating a diet that's super high in sugar, of course your body's going to react to it, and it's not just your skin, your gut health, your everything is going to react to it.
No doubt.
But sometimes I think there can be an unhealthy obsession and that can lead to higher cortisol levels, which can also lead to more inflammation, which can also lead to more acne and more problems. So
Mhm.
definitely don't stress about it. But I would say, based off of Jeralee's recommendations and other functional medicine doctors that I've talked to, um, just start trying to reduce your inflammation in your body overall. And of course, you want to
Mhm.
attack that through diet, through mental health, through lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you will start seeing positive differences. Yeah.
Right. You answered that so well. So
Thanks.
good.
Well, I've been learning. I've been listening to you. So, um, cheapest and best way to have glowing skin apart from lifestyle, food, and sleep, etc. I'm not sure how we're gonna answer this one. I'm very curious. I mean, I think it comes back to the same thing we've talked about.
It
Yeah.
does. The Just a good skincare routine is drastically like
Estimated.
underestimated, yes. So having glowing skin does not require expensive treatments, laser treatments, all these things. Those things are wonderful. Yes.
Do they help? Yes. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But just taking care of your skin, cleaning your face, finding a good moisturizer. That's step one.
Step one.
Start there.
Absolutely. Start there. No, and you've said it before, but if you're are you drinking if you're drinking a gallon of water, you're moisturizing every night, you're exfoliating 3 times a week, you have those steps in place, you're taking care of your cortisol levels and your inflammation, like you'll start seeing results. And then afterwards, if you're able to add in that microneedling, that age jet, all those other stuff,
Right.
yeah. Guys, I hope if you're getting one thing from this episode, it's that you continue to realize that almost no matter what question you guys ask about, it really comes back to those simple basics. It does not have to be hard to have good skincare.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes it just takes somebody telling you that
yeah.
because truthfully, when I was growing up, my skin wasn't great. And I struggled with my skin for a long time and it was horrible. And I grew up with sisters and, my mother, and they all had really great skin. And I was just struggling. And I was like, oh my gosh, why does my skin look like this? And nobody else is having these problems. And I didn't have
Same
anybody to
here.
tell me anything. So I struggled and I, tore my skin apart trying to take care of it, not having any idea what I was doing. So, uh, just finding again the things that really do work for you. And it can all
Mhm.
be very specific and it's very personalized. And just get to know your body and your skin and find good products that work.
Absolutely. Well, and just quickly, because I think people can relate to that, what are some of those like harmful skin care, or what are some of those harmful things you did at the time that you just didn't know were harmful?
I stripped my skin with cleansers. My skin was probably super dehydrated. I used exfoliators at the time that I tell people not to use now.
Mm.
Uh, and then I just didn't have a good moisturizer. Like I didn't understand skin. I had no knowledge of it
Mhm.
whatsoever. I'm 13, 14, and I'm using products, spot treatments, overnight treatments, and it just sucking everything out and dehydrating and causing more problems. So, that's why I say you
Yeah.
can overdo it and then you're
Yeah.
just in a worse position that you were before.
Well, and
So,
I think a lot of people again just don't understand that you don't want to have like what was it last time we talked about? You don't want to have exfoliators with like large shell chunks that are literally going to be
which
scraping your
is
skin off.
which is the one that I used when I was 13 and 14.
It's, like you said, over because my skin was oily, I thought that if I just continue to wash it with like the most, what is it? I'm benzoyl peroxide. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, there's benzoyl
Yeah,
peroxide.
with just like tons of benzoyl peroxide and then no moisture so that none of the oil, I didn't understand that my sebaceous glands were going to be overproducing to make
Right.
up for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think everything you talked about is so relevant. Okay, so along those, we have a couple more questions. So, how can I tell if my skin is dehydrated or dry or just dry? And what is the difference between those two?
Your skin can be dry and, flaky. I think a lot of it has to do with the time of the year
Mm,
too, but also, again, has to do with, your overall just health. Like, what are you putting into your body? So, when
yeah.
your skin is dry, you probably just feel kind of like tight and, like you just need to put on a moisturizer. Like, really dry skin is just, oh, my skin feels kind of tight and I need to throw on a moisturizer. Dehydrated skin is kind of a bigger issue, and sometimes it pertains to weather. So, wintertime, the environment is, cold and harsh, and a lot of us jump in like a really hot, steamy shower, and then you're
Yeah.
just dehydrating your skin even more. And it might feel, patchy, dry irritation, spot. So that's like really dehydrated skin.
Yeah.
And you can treat it with, of course, using moisture on the outside of your skin, but also pay attention to what you're putting in your body. Drinking lots of water. It sounds repetitive and tedious, but it makes a huge difference. So that's the main difference
Yeah.
between the two.
Love it. Why do I need a different cream for under my eyes? Or can I use my face cream under my eyes?
So chances are the eye creams are specific for the eye for a
Mm,
very good reason. The texture of this skin is not the same as this skin. This is
yeah.
much thinner, it's much more sensitive, and we're kind of treating different issues. A lot of times it's puffiness, you get dark circles. So there's specific ingredients in an eye cream that target that, whether it's caffeine or peptides, antioxidants, which, yes, you'll find some of those in your face creams as
Yeah.
well, but specifically targeting that, you know, delicate skin under our eye. So I always recommend using an eye cream in addition to your face cream.
Do you have brands that you recommend for eye cream?
I love Epionce is probably my go-to. They just have like their
Yeah.
OG eye cream is what I've used for probably 15 years. And it's super hydrating. It helps with fine lines, puffiness, dark circles. It's my go-to.
Amazing.
So
Yeah. Today's podcast is brought to you by the Premium Center for Regenerative Medicine and Stem Cell Therapy in the Northwest, Northwest Center for Regenerative Medicine. Get back to the activities that you love without needing surgery. You can book your appointment at nwc4rm.com. Again, that's nwc4rm.com. This podcast is also brought to you by Rare Wellness Supplements. You can head over to rareplanethealth.com to get your supplements. My personal favorite is the premium fish oil filled with omega 3s. Again, you can go to rareplanethealth.com and get the supplements that you most need to support your health and wellness today. Lastly, this podcast is also brought to you by Rare Wellness. Rare Wellness is located on the South Hill in Spokane and is one center that provides all the wellness tools that you could need. Whether you're looking for a hands-on premium intimate yoga studio with a therapeutic emphasis, bar classes, Tai Chi classes. If you're looking for skincare treatments, injectable, hydrofacial, microneedling, organic spa treatments, if you're wanting to get therapeutic massage or book functional medicine appointments to get down to the root cause of your inflammation, Rare Wellness is the place for you. Whatever your wellness needs are, they have it covered. So to book your appointment today, go to rarewellness.com. Again, go to rarewellness.com and mention this podcast for 10% off when you're booking. Okay, time to get back to the episode. At what age should I start using anti-aging products?
that's a great question. You can start using anti-aging products as early as 20s. I think the common mistake is people think, okay, now I see these visible signs, fine lines, a little bit of laxity. So then they start using products to treat that, where in reality, we should start using those products in our 20s
Before.
because it can also be preventative. We start losing collagen in our skin in our late 20s, probably early 30s, and we
Mm,
lose up to 1% every year. And
that's
by
a
the
lot.
it is a lot. And by age 40, I think we've lost about 20% of collagen
Yeah.
overall.
So, do you
So
recommend that everyone take collagen supplements then? And when should you start those if you do?
collagen supplements, I think, are beneficial anytime. I would, if you are starting, to use your anti-aging good skincare products in your 20s, you could do collagen supplements as
Yeah.
well. That would be fantastic because, um, you're losing collagen, so you're trying to like continuously create more. So, yeah, early
Love it.
20s, I would say start using really good skincare.
Uh-oh. I think I just deleted everything. Hold on. If I
Uh
shake it, sometimes it comes back. Well, the good news is we were almost done anyway. Okay.
Hold on.
Here's one of the last questions on there that I saw. We've talked about sunscreen earlier. Where can I apply sunscreen on my body? Should I only be using it on my face or does it matter for the rest of my skin?
I'm gonna tell a secret. No.
Tell me a secret.
I Anyone that knows me knows that I love the sunshine. Like
Yes.
I would just I'm living in the wrong area for one. But I when it's summertime, I am outside, whether I'm walking down the street with my children, going on a walk, sitting out in my backyard, whatever. I am always out in the sun. Do I wear an SPF, 90 on my face? Yes. Am I great about putting it on my body? Sometimes. But yeah, you should wear a sunscreen everywhere because, we want healthy skin. We want to protect our body from the damaging sun rays because then you start talking about, skin cancer and
Mhm.
other problems. So, yes, you should wear a sunscreen. Does it have to be an SPF 90? No. But just for, again, overall skin health and just, you know, health of
Yeah.
your body, yeah, wear a sunscreen.
Our final question for today is a question that I have been asked pretty regularly. What is the best and most natural way to help hormonal acne
Hormonal acne, yes. It is such a frustrating thing sometimes because
and painful?
yeah, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm breaking out down here. It must be hormonal." Well, most likely yes, but I think if we look at again what we're putting in our bodies, we know we kind of already said this, sugar,
Mhm.
contributes to inflammation and it can, also contribute to the amount of oil that our skin produces and then it creates this like wonderful environment for bacteria and acne to thrive. So pay attention to what foods you're eating. A lot of hormonal acne is caused by like acidic foods and
Oh,
sugar, like I just said, but you could probably look at some foods that are kind of more alkaline based, like melons, for fruits and vegetables like cucumber, avocado. Those are
mhm.
really great, and that can just kind of help balance out what's going on in your body because that's the
Yeah,
main thing, right? It's
yeah.
not necessarily about cleansing and topical treatments, which
Because this is coming from the inside, right?
so hormonal acne is just different in the way that yes, you still want to be doing your skincare and treatments and all of that, but pay attention also to what you're putting in your body to help with what's going on.
And I think that that is, I mean, it's in the name, right? Hormonal acne. If you start to work on fixing your hormones through your
Mhm.
lifestyle, you're also, which again, it doesn't require necessarily hormone replacement therapy. Like these are
No,
things that you can change in your lifestyle to be able to clear up your skin. And
right.
so, I think a huge place to start if you're struggling with acne and you're just starting your skincare journey, understanding what type of acne you have.
Mhm.
Again, if it's topical, is it deep, is it hormonal, where is it on your face, can tell you a lot about that. And those are things that an easy Google search could also help you understand what type you have. And then like Jeralee said, how do you address it? Because again, if it's hormonal, changing those things in your lifestyle to balance out your hormones is probably going to help you even more than a 12-step skin routine will,
Mhm.
because it's coming from deep within your body. So that was very helpful. And
And I don't want people to obsess about, foods and stuff like that, because I think today there are so many allergies and so many things out there,
yes,
and that are real, right? But
right.
sometimes even just like a specific time, when you're menstruating, or,
Yeah,
you kind of know, as women, we know maybe when we're going to get certain breakouts. So
right.
at that point, maybe pay attention to decreasing certain foods that we know have more sugar, whether it's
Yes.
dairy or, certain grains that have, all of that stuff in them. So that can be helpful.
Oh, completely. And we just released another, or we're releasing, well, by the time you watch, we just released another episode on cycle syncing with your cycle as a woman and being able to balance out your hormones through lifestyle. So definitely go check that out because that'll help give you a lot of valuable information. And, if you're having painful periods or you just want to figure out how to live in alignment with your cycle and how to optimize your hormone health, and you start doing that, you'll probably see a lot of benefits. Everything's interconnected, as we've talked about many, many times. No, but that is so helpful. So, so helpful. So, and like Jeralee said, guys, don't obsess over it and have grace for yourself. Also, I think that there's this like arbitrary pressure in society to always look perfect, to always look put together, to always look flawless. And the reality is that obviously we want skin integrity, we want skin health. You want to feel beautiful, you want to feel glowing. It's painful, right? Like having hormonal acne, I've been there. It's painful, it's deep, it hurts. No one wants to have acne on their face, but just realize you're human. You're not going to be perfect, and it's okay. And acne is normal. Like, I just want to throw this out there. Acne is normal. You don't have to live with it. You can heal yourself from it, but you
Yeah.
should never, ever, ever, ever feel ugly or bad or shame that you have acne because it's a part of being human. Jeralee, thank you so much for your time. If people want to book a consultation with you, how do they do that?
You can do it online through the MindBody app, rarewellness.com, or you can call
Yeah.
and we can do it for you.
Yeah. So, guys, your skincare journey does not have to be overwhelming. We have experts in place. We're trying to help empower you with as much knowledge as possible so you can start and lay the foundation for your skincare. But there's people here to help you. It does not have to be overwhelming. And sometimes it's hard to be an expert at everything. So if you want some outside consultation on just how to have the healthiest, most vibrant skin, Jeralee is your gal. Go to rarewellness.com. Yeah, Jeralee, thank you so much for your time today. I love talking with you, and this was really fun dressing up in our
Thanks.
sunglasses.
Well, I'm sweating. So,
I
total
am too.
transparency, I
I'm
am
burning.
sweating, but all for the good of the talk.
Well, guys, next time you see Jeralee on here, I think I'm going to be giving her a facial, so that'll be interesting. So be sure to subscribe and not miss those future episodes. But guys, if this episode helped you learn just a little bit more about skincare, leave us a 5-star review and share this with a friend so that we can continue to give you free, valuable knowledge from experts. Send in your questions. Nothing is off topic. Ask your mental health questions. They could be questions for a chiropractor, questions for a medical doctor, questions about hormones, questions about skin, questions about Botox. It does not matter what your questions are. Send them in. We'll interview someone to answer them. See you guys on the next Rare Wellness episode. Bye.
Bye.